Good morning, everybody in Facebook land. How are you all? I'll just wait for a few more people to pop on before I start this Just Start. Is anybody out there? Or will I be talking to myself today? Okay, we have one. Hi, Wendy. How you going? Did you have a good Chrissy? Yay! I'll just wait for a couple more people to join. We'll see who we can get out there in Facebook land. Okay, maybe everyone's sleeping. Sleeping. Or doing other things like eating too much turkey. Alrighty. Okay. Well, I wanted to do this live today about just starting. Because there are many places that I get that I have not started because I've had these points of view about whether it's the right timing, or I have to get it right, or I have to get it perfect. And there's been other times that I've just launched in and just gone for it. And so I wanted to talk about a few of those things where I've launched in and just gone for it, and the times that I've sat back and waited for that perfect moment, which apparently never arrives. The choice that you make to just choose and just step in creates way more than sitting back and waiting for that perfect moment. But just to go back, when I first started this business that I'm doing now, I was a stay-at-home mum, and I didn't have a lot going on in my life, and I was thinking about starting all these things. I had all these ideas, but I wasn't starting. I didn't have the confidence. I didn't know where to go to, and so I'd be writing these ideas down, but there'd be nothing. And it wasn't until I had my bars run and I did my first Access Bars class and a foundation class that all those thoughts and all those limitations and all those belief systems that I had going on actually just completely melted away. And I literally launched in and built a business within one month. I was seeing paying clients like immediately. And I also built a website from scratch. Now, one of the things that I'd been asking for was, how do I build a website, or who do I go to that can build one for me? And I would ring people and it would be an astronomical amount. And at the time I didn't have the money to be able to build a website. So I kept hitting all these brick walls. But after having my bars run, after doing these foundation classes, and after asking lots of questions and being in the question and having the point of view that anything is possible, I actually built my own website. Now, if you hadn't known me back then, I wasn't very tech savvy. When I was a young girl, we weren't allowed to have a computer at home. So my mum used to type all my assignments up. So I would write them and then she would type them up for me. And then sometimes when I really needed, like to have a computer, I would borrow one of the ones at school. So I wasn't that great with technology. And I literally built this website, which is, to me, when I look at it now, it's like, that's insane. And I was so proud. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't the best website in the world, but I love the technology we have these days that allows us to be able to Google things, and we get training videos along the way that you can learn to do these things. So I built this website. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't the most brilliant website in the world, but it enabled me to just start, just begin something. And then again, I didn't have astronomical amounts of money because my husband at the time wasn't giving me any money. He was very tight with money. So for me to ask, it was always a big, I had to put my case forward to be able to have things. So oftentimes I just wouldn't bother asking because it was too much of a pain in the ass. So I made my own business cards, and and these were just done on Vistaprint. And I remember at the time it was it was free cards, and all you had to do was pay for the delivery. So I just started, and then I was making money as I was going along so that I could afford these things. And someone actually asked me the other day, I was teaching a bars class, and he said to me, "Oh, I love your room." And I said, "Well, do you know something really funny? When I used to first teach classes in this room, it was all brick. It had a hole in a wall which brought all the breeze in from outside, so it was a very cold area, and I had to put on like 3 heaters just to keep it warm. And I had a big curtain up that used to block this workbench. But I didn't have the point of view that it wasn't perfect, right? But I had my classes were packed, and I didn't have the point of view that I couldn't do it. I didn't have the point of view that it wasn't possible. I just made it work. And I always had in my mind, or in my awareness, and one of my targets was, I would either hire out a space, but the first thing that was really pertinent, I'm not even great with my words today, pertinent in my mind was that I would renovate that space. When I got enough money, I would renovate that space so that it would be the way I would like it to be. And eventually that actualized. I created that. So I made enough money that I could get my dad to get me all these materials and renovate this beautiful space. It turned into this beautiful space that everyone walks into and says, "Oh, I love this space, and I love being in there too." But I started literally from nothing, right? So I guess my message to you is, it doesn't matter how it has to look or what it has to look like. The universe will take care of that part of it. You just need to choose. You just need to choose these things so that you can just start. And it was funny, the last couple of days, or actually particularly yesterday, I was feeling really exhausted. I mean, it's been a big few weeks leading up to Christmas, and a lot of people have the point of view that they're tired and they're exhausted and they're finishing work and they've got so much to do and so much going on. And I actually had this, in that moment, I didn't feel like starting. So if you've had that going on too, you want to use the tools of, who does this belong to? What is this? What do I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how can I change it? Is this my body that's tired? Is it true that my body's tired? And you can start to use some tools like pulling energy from all over the universe into your body and into all the molecules of your body to energize yourself. Because the truth is, we have a lot going on. There's, you might have kids, you might run businesses, you might have partners you need to take care of, grandparents, whatever it is that's going on in your life, your work life. You are going to have times where you are going to be, trudging along a little bit. So what if you pulled energy into every molecule of your body to wake your body up so that you can be more and have more and do more, so that you have the energy to start those things that you've been asking for? So, and the other thing is, what are you resisting? What are you stopping yourself from doing that could be the one thing that could change everything? So what is it that you're putting off? I know for me, I didn't like doing live videos. In fact, I still don't love them. It's a strange concept to me to talk to people that are there. I mean, right now we've got Wendy watching. It's a strange concept to me that I'm just talking into nothing. But what I've also got to look at is that this video is creating for the future too. So for people to listen to in the future. And so I've always put those live videos off. They've never made me extremely uncomfortable. They've never made me comfortable. And what is comfort anyway? So I've avoided them, and and yet I love engaging with people and sitting in a classroom kind of concept where you can actually see the person and you can reach out and touch them and you can speak with them and engage with them. And there's this two-way conversation going on. Yes, Wendy, eeks, me too, haven't got there still yet. I know. And look, I've gone through stages where I've done them and then I've retracted and stopped and not wanting to do them anymore. And then I've done them and then retracted and stopped. And it's funny because I've listened back on some of those ones that I've done in the past and I'm like, what am I going on about? I'm fine. I look fine on camera. I'm speaking well. I'm not coming across like an idiot like I think I am. You know, all those things that we have, that point of view. And I also had this other point of view that I wouldn't have anything to say. I'd run out of things to say because you've got people in a classroom. I don't know what's wrong with my words today, but in a classroom scenario, you can actually have feedback, whereas a live, you can't. So I had this point of view, I'm not going to get the feedback. But of course, you know, people are, if you tap into the energy of what people are asking for, then the information comes anyway, right? And then people are actually asking questions if they want to on the live chat. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Kylie. Thank you for coming on, watching me. I'm actually in Kingscliff at the moment in Queensland having a holiday. And I said to my partner, now this is the other thing. So I said to my partner, now I'm going to need around 15 to 20 minutes today because I'm going to do a live. And he said, what? You're working while you're up here? And I said, yes, because I made a commitment to myself that I would do a live show every single week. And I actually said to a friend of mine, now, because I've said I'm going to do a live show every single week, does that mean I have to do it over the Christmas period? And she was like, yes, Danielle, yes, you do. And I'm like, shit. And she said, you have to show up for your community. I'm like, okay, I can do that. So because I'd committed to this and because I'd committed to doing a live show every week, I just started. And maybe it was crazy to start a week before Christmas, but when I put my mind to something, if I really want to do something, I know that if I put it off, and you probably get this too, if you put it off till next week and you put it off, there's always another excuse why you won't start. There's always something. It's like when you're doing a weight loss regime, for example, and you'll say, I'll just start after all the birthdays are finished, or I'll just start after the Christmas holidays, or I'll just start because I've got so many things on. But you're not actually ever truly committing to what you're asking for. You'll always come up with an excuse as to why you're not choosing that. So what if there's no perfect timing? Absolutely no perfect timing. If you get the hit, what if now is the time to just start? Yeah. So, yeah, what if it's okay to be uncomfortable doing a Facebook Live? And what if it's not, your ideal scenario? Eventually, you're going to be fine with it. Eventually, it's going to be amazing. And you're not going to be perfect to begin with. And the other funny thing that I had going on with starting lives and things like that was I thought that I would actually, I'd run out of things to say. How am I going to come up with a title, a topic every single week? And another friend has said to me, if you just choose it, the topics will come. And strangely, I've had so many topics like flying at me from left, right, center, that I'm constantly writing them down in my notes, because I have a notes section in my phone, and that's where I write all my things when I'm walking, when I'm moving around, when I'm working, wherever I am, that's where everything goes. And I look back to see what topic or what it is that's going to have like a ping, because sometimes there's a ping and it's a ping for now, and I know that I have to step in, jump in, do that thing. And then there's others that are for later, and I will often scroll back through, and it could be like, 6 months, 3 months, I don't know, whatever it is later. And it goes now. And so I use that topic. But it's funny, I literally thought I would have nothing to say and I'd have no topics, but there's been so many. So just that choice to start something gives you the information. right? So it doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter if you haven't got all the pieces and the bits and bobs, and you don't have to be perfect. You just have to have the willingness to begin, and that's exactly how it happened for me. So as soon as that was my other point of view. By the way, I'm telling you all my points of view that I had going. So you too probably have a billion of them as well, for all the reasons why you're not starting something. But my other point of view was, I was going to start a group so that I could do these lives in. And I had this thing where, and I said this for like 6 months, I don't even know what to call the group. I don't know what to call it. I have no name. And it wasn't until I was in Noosa for facilitator training that I already realized I was doing an Accessorize Your Life Zoom. And I was like, well, I'll just take that. I'll just use that as my group name. And the other funny thing is, it may not be the perfect name right now, but I can always change it in the future. It doesn't have to be forever. You can always change your mind, and you can always add and take away or contribute or whatever it is to the thing that you're wanting to do. It doesn't have to be, the perfect name. And you don't have to have the perfect graphic. Like in this case, I just use the graphic that I'd used for the Zoom. So there it was. And it was born, and it felt light. And so I went with it. And I know that later on down the track, if I want to change the name, I can change the name. So Caroline, what did you say? It will resonate. The commitment will show up every time it's viewed in the future for somebody who will benefit. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. And hi, Farah. How you going? Hi, Cherie. Hope you guys all had an amazing Christmas. Silly season. So what else do you guys want to know? Like, what is it that, where are you not starting? Where are you not stepping into the asks that you're asking for, but holding back and holding back and holding back? Like, what are you holding back from? And I think it's also looking at the whispers of the universe. Like, the universe is talking to us all the time. Like, we have these little whispers, and then it's just tapping into that and asking what else is possible, and what is it that you're, and sometimes they'll be really loud, and sometimes, sometimes they will be a whisper. So it's about being aware of what those whispers are, following that, and choosing what is light for you, right? And if you really tap in, and I'm going to say, get your bars run, because I hadn't had my bars run for, a couple of weeks. And I said to Dane last night, can you run my bars? I didn't have my bars run. I think I had my implant band run for like 30 minutes when I was in facilitator training. So that's how long it's been since I've actually had my bars run. And my mind gets so clogged and heavy and confused, and I can't get clarity on anything when I'm in that space. And the minute that he ran my bars, like, everything just relaxed, everything became clearer. So whatever it is for you, I mean, it may not be bars, it may be walking out in nature to get that clarity, so you can just start, so that you're not doing that, that constant loop. If you're in your head about any decision or choice that you're trying to make, it doesn't work, because you've already gone into computation. You've already gone into 1 + 1 = 2, right? And it doesn't. We all know, if you do this access stuff, if you're willing to be in the question, if you're willing to be space and create from a space of possibility, doing mathematical equations don't work. So I would, whatever it is for you, whether it being meditating, which I'm not great at, by the way, but maybe you are, meditating, or walking out in nature, walking along the beach, or doing some sort of exercise. I find, like, if I do yoga, I get way more clear. As soon as I lie down in Shavasana, most people are going to sleep and stuff. All my best ideas for my business comes up, and then I've got to quickly go to my phone and write them all down. I get my greatest awarenesses there when I'm driving is another place, and when I'm in the shower, funnily enough, and then I don't have my phone, and I've got, I need to get one of those pens that you can write on the window. But, you know, wherever you are at, I guess my advice to you is don't get caught up in the pressure of having to be the best in 2020. It's what actually is true for you. Like, what is one thing that you've avoided in 2019 and maybe before, right? What is one thing that you've avoided dynamically that you could implement either today or in the next couple of months that would change the trajectory of your business and your life? Like, so what is one thing that you've avoided that you could implement? And maybe get someone that is close to you, and maybe you could get like an accountability buddy, someone that you could bounce ideas off that could assist you. Like, I have some friends that I do that with. I have one particular friend, Kirsten, here in Melbourne, and actually I'm not in Melbourne right now, I'm in Kingscliff, but anyway, in Melbourne, and we go for coffees together, and even though our businesses aren't together, we bounce ideas off each other for each other's businesses, and someone that has no judgment of you and no judgment of your choices, and wants to see the greatest for you and the best in you, and wants to see you achieve greater in life. Someone that you could sit down with and, you know, make those steps, and someone who will kind of, you know, pat you on the back and go, come on, you've got this, for that one thing that you've been avoiding. So what is it for you, and what is it that you could choose that could create greater for now, for the future, and for your 2020? And just start, yeah? And that's pretty much all I have to say for this particular topic. I'm actually going to be doing a 4-part series in February on this very topic. So look out for that when that comes up, because I think this would be a great program to, you know, nut those things out, get an accountability buddy, and start to let go of those limitations and points of view that are holding you back from starting. I know that this has been awesome in my life to have these people around me that have really pushed me along and helped me and assisted me. So what if, you know, choosing that, I could be that for you too. So thank you for listening today. I hope you have an amazing new year, which falls on what day? Wednesday? Yes, same as, New Year's Eve is Tuesday, isn't it? So I hope you have an amazing time, whatever you choose to do. And I really look forward to seeing you again on these lives next week. I most likely will schedule one for Friday again, because so we don't fall on New Year's Day, because I may have had a couple of drinks myself. It was great to see you all, even though I can't really see you, but having your energy. Adore you all, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for listening.